Hey, what's up? It's me, Meg Scoop, and you are watching Next Level Podcast.
Welcome to Next Level Podcast. But before we get into this amazing interview, I would like to shout out our team: Skyy, creator and executive producer; Emma J, producer; Jeremy Hart, producer and audio; and Swain, videographer. Now, let's enter the Sky Lounge.
Welcome to the Next Level Podcast, where we bring you the latest in hip hop and culture right here from the Sky Lounge. I'm your host, Liz Smith, and we're going to bring you some of the exclusive interviews. So we want you to go ahead, sit back, relax, and join us for our Next Level Podcast interview with our special guest, Meg Scoop.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. That was a really nice introduction.
Okay, thank you, girl. It means a lot coming from someone in the industry who
Good
understands.
job, girl. You did that. Seamless.
Thank you. So how you feeling?
I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the flu like everybody else right
Okay.
now. Praise the Lord, knock on wood.
Yes.
So I'm doing good. Feeling great.
Okay, so before we get into all of the questions,
Yeah.
we're going to do a quick little icebreaker. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so for us here and everyone at home, you have so many talents, but what is a secret talent that no one knows about that you have?
Oh, gosh. A secret talent. Huh. I don't know if I have one.
I know you got something.
I can't fart on command. I can't.
Not fart on command.
A secret talent. Oh, I'm very flexible.
Okay.
And that's not trying to be like weird or nothing, but like it's kind of like, why are you so flexible?
No, that's good.
I don't know why, but apparently flexible people live longer. So praise the Lord. I'm happy to take that. So yeah,
maybe you could teach me because I need to work on
you
that.
just stretch a lot. I don't know.
I know.
Stretch,
That is so true. So true. Okay, cool. So let's get right into it.
All right.
You have amazing vibes. I've
you.
seen
So
your
do you.
work. Thank you. I've seen your work. You on camera talking to people in interview. It's just so flawless.
Oh, thank you.
It gives us sister girl vibes, very humble, very authentic. I really love that about you, and you've been in the industry for a long time.
Yes.
And I know as a woman of color, being in the entertainment industry, it's not easy.
No.
So how do you stay sane? Like, what are you doing to be able to stay in it this long, but also stay sane?
Drugs, lots of drugs. I'm just playing. I don't do drugs. I think honestly, like just remembering that this, even though it's something that I love to do and it's a gift and it's a talent, it's still a job.
Yeah.
And I'm still a person. And so
Right.
I think sometimes people get caught up with their careers and they then think their career makes them who they are. And then you fall into this trap of like,
Right.
oh, I got to network with people. People got to
Right.
meet me. And I feel like this. Look, I network with God. God know everybody, right?
Hello.
So he just going to connect me with whoever I need to.
I know
So
that's
if I
right.
feel like I'm lacking something where I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to make more connections, that means I need to spend more time with God. And so to me, I go away. I go to my just lonesome place with just me and God. And that helps ground me and center me because it's a lot going on in this industry and I be looking around like, oh my gosh,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
it's so much behind the scenes, and I'm just like, I've never been caught up in that because I'm like, look,
Yeah.
I do my work and I go home.
Right.
So.
I love that. I always tell people too, because everybody's like, you stay booked and busy. Like, who's your manager? Who's your agent? I'm like, God.
Right.
I don't have no manager or agent. It's God.
You know everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And will get
You know
you
everybody.
where you need to be. So I absolutely love that. Now, for folks back home who may not know, you are head of production of at All Def.
Yes,
I want to put the
yes.
jam in there. All Def.
Yeah.
Super dope. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It has so much historic history in Black comedy.
Yeah.
How did you get this role? Because I'm sure a lot of people, are interested in maybe doing that one day, but don't really know what it takes or even how to, get a job like that. So how did you secure that?
So I auditioned. Back when I used to live in Los Angeles for like 7 years, and I was doing everything from like just hustling, okay?
Yeah.
Like hustling 4 jobs, doing interviews. I used to be in your seat.
Yeah.
Doing interviews with people. I was the booker. I was that talent. I was
Yeah.
the researcher, everything, right? So I used to do all that for about 4 years, and then All Def had an audition for like a new host of their daily show.
Okay.
And so I auditioned and I got it. But then after about a month or two, they were like, yeah, so we a Black business and we gotta we don't have, our money ain't as long as
Okay.
like these networks, right? So can you produce your show too? We'll pay you, but can you produce your show too? And I was like, yeah, of course, because because like I said, all those other jobs that I had, I
Right.
was a booker, I was a producer, I was
Right.
a talent. So I knew how to do all those skills.
Correct.
So I started producing my own show, and then after a while, they were like, "Oh, you're really good at this." So they asked if I could produce other people's shows.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." Since you have a background in production, which a background in finance, which
Okay.
years ago, I used to be a financial consultant before my entertainment career. So I knew
Cool.
spreadsheets, I knew numbers, I
Right.
knew budgets, and they were like, so yeah, this is the marriage of the two. Like
Yeah.
all that little nerdy number stuff plus like production. So can you be head of production also? And I was like, all right,
Wow.
cool. So now I'm in charge of, I hire producers, but it really helps because I understand production
Right.
from the ground level.
Correct.
Like and push come to shove, if I need to produce something, I can.
Right.
So it kind of just came full circle. You know, when people look at the span of their career, I think that was like 2005 when I
Wow.
was, no, 2006 when I started doing stuff in entertainment. And
Right.
I always wondered how, like, what does this have to, like, I'm in finance, but I don't want to be here. But then I look and I see every step that I take. I could not have made it this far
Correct.
in this industry had I not had
Yeah.
that understanding,
Right.
of numbers
Correct.
that I had, right? But it all just worked out. So I always say to people, like, don't ever look where you're at and go, like, I'm not gonna make it, or I don't know how I'm going to get where I want to be.
Right.
Some way, somehow, what you're doing today is gonna
Exactly.
be the stepping stone that you need to get to that place. So don't ever downplay where you are.
Right. It's so true.
Yeah.
I tell, like, I have a lot of friends who may not be working necessarily in the industry that they want.
Yeah.
They're in another industry doing a job or whatever. And I just tell them, like, just try to seek the lesson.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to all make sense one day. God has you there for a reason.
Right,
so
right,
just
right.
try to make the best of it. And I also want you to talk a little bit more about producing, because I'm a producer myself in radio, and I've done it for years now. I always get the question, what's a producer? You know?
Yeah.
And I
think it means
just
different
think,
things in different industries. But.
yeah. I just think it's super cool, though, when I come across female
Yeah.
producers. So if you could just talk a little bit about that and what you really loved from being a producer.
I think the one thing that makes like a really good producer is somebody who's like detail oriented and like follows up, because I find that like you're basically a project manager, you know, when it comes to your radio or TV. If you're producing, like, the buck stops with you. It's your job to make sure everybody's doing what they're doing.
Right.
You got the right sound person, you got the right, video camera operator or
Correct.
first AD or whoever. Like, you got to make sure you have the right people in the right seats to do their jobs, or else it comes back on you.
Correct.
And then you also have to remember to, like, dot every I, cross every T. That's what makes a really good producer. You're detail oriented,
Yeah.
and you follow up and make sure all of that is taken care of. The thing I like about producing is just, I'm kind of bossy.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd be like, okay, well, no, you need to come over here. You need to do this.
Correct.
You need to do this. Whereas like the director is like bossy, but like when it comes to how everything is shot, and from that level, from like a creative level, the director is like got to be the boss of that, but the producer is the boss of like everything else.
No, that's facts.
So me being bossy, I guess, I mean, it just kind of works out.
I mean, you need it, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't go right, it's going to get blamed on you anyways.
Exactly. And that's my name in these streets. So
Exactly.
sorry, you just gonna have to be mad today. Sorry.
Yeah, I know that's right. You got to be a boss. It does not matter.
Yeah.
Now, we know comedy is a male-dominated industry. I mean,
For
a lot
sure.
of these industries are. But how are you able to maneuver and just stay consistent, but also stand your ground? Because I know for women, sometimes if you are standing your ground, if you're doing what you got to do, people want to label you as, I ain't gonna cuss, but you know what I mean, like a B-I-T-C-H, and, just give you all types of negative stereotypes. So how are you able to get the job done, stay consistent, and be the boss that you are?
I think because I lead with love, stern but love, and
love
I
that.
think when everybody that I've ever worked with, they're like, oh, Megan, get on my nerves, but she's gonna get it done right every single time. And so like, I work with a lot of people who have their own things going on, but they'll always go, Megan, can you help me? Can you help me do this? Or because they know it's gonna get done and it's gonna get done right. But at the same time, like, I don't take no shit now. Okay?
Right.
But I'm also gonna, but like, I'm gonna lead with love. If it's not right, I'm gonna tell you it's not right.
Right.
There's been so many times where I've had to like pull people to the side that I've hired. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because you're not doing your job today. I'm about to fire you, but I don't want to fire you. So what's going on? Like, let's have a heart to heart. And usually, like, I've had a lot of people say, like, thank you. Because if you do that at ABC, CBS, whatever, you're gone.
Exactly.
But like, you pull me to the side and you like really was like, okay, let's talk about it. Sometimes it's, do you need an encouraging word? Do you need prayer? Like, what is it?
Right.
Let's talk about this, okay? Let's pretend this job's not happening. What's going on with you? Because these are people, and we're people first before we're whatever our job is.
With the sound. Okay, so I know you don't know what that sound is, so I'm going to break it down to you.
I know. I thought it was somebody. I was like, ooh, we about to get in trouble. No. You can turn your phone off.
No.
Okay.
So this sound is the sound of our challenge that we call Level Up.
Okay.
So every time you hear this sound, we're going to play Level Up Challenge, okay?
Okay.
So there will be a Level Up Challenge question. You're going to get 3 of these. Okay. And each question will get harder and harder.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Sign up for this?
This is how you level up on our show.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought it'd be work. Okay.
No, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And if you answer each one of your lucky fans back home will win a prize. But if you choose to pass or you don't want to answer, then that's out the door. You lose.
Somebody get a prize if I get it right?
You got to answer. It's no right or wrong.
Oh, okay.
Just as long as you answer them.
If I answer it, somebody get a prize. What is the prize?
TBD.
Okay. I'm hoping it's a good prize. I'm doing this for y'all. All right.
Okay. So are you ready for the first one?
Let's go.
Okay. So if you were trapped on an island, would you rather be trapped with your kids or your husband?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say my husband. I'm sorry. I love you, kids. Don't watch this. But they're little, so that means I have to take care of them, and I'm not the best survivalist. So
the husband it is.
Husband, he can chop down stuff. He can
make
stuff.
Protect you, provide.
Just stay with your grandparents. That'll be fine.
And it might even be a nice little island. It could be a good getaway, vacation vibes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, boo.
I like that. I like the answer. See, that wasn't hard.
Sorry, kids.
Okay. Let's hop right back into it. So, Squadcast, which, by the way, 15,000 current views right now. And I was looking at the comments. So people are super excited to have you back. Like, that's all I just kept.
Really? I didn't
that
even
is
see it.
literally all I kept seeing was Meg is back. I'm so excited to have Meg back. So shout out to you.
Okay. I'm glad y'all liked it because I ain't read the comments. I didn't know.
Yeah. They're giving you a lot of love.
I took a little hiatus for the last couple of months just because it was the end of the year.
Yeah.
Been working hard, so.
Understandable. So, yeah, they're loving you there. Then we got great taste, dad jokes. The list goes on. Can you tell us what it takes to create a successful podcast or YouTube show? Because a lot of people could do it, but they're not successful with it.
I think it's a couple things. I think you have to be authentic.
True.
Whatever interests you means it interests somebody else out there.
Okay.
So you just have to be authentic with what it is that you like and you want to talk about. Because your people will come. And the second part of that is be consistent. So as long as you're authentic and you keep putting the content out, people, it'll build the fan base. But sometimes the problem is in this day and age, people want things to happen quickly.
Yeah.
So they don't understand, like, it may take a couple years.
True.
But as long as you keep going, it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger and you're going to get that, all that big fan base. You just have to, just can't give up.
Yeah, so true. And staying consistent in everything that you're talking about, it brings in the numbers.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you saw that, like, your videos are surpassing 1 million views? Like, how does that make you feel?
I don't know. It doesn't really. I guess because that's such a big number, I can't really quantify 1 million people.
Right.
Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it only makes me go, oh, okay, I guess people do watch this. It's
right.
Like if I'm out somewhere and somebody's like, Meg Scoop, because I immediately turn and think it's somebody I know. Mm-hmm. And then when I turn around and I see it's like an 18-year-old like boy, I'm like, what? I don't know you, huh?
Yeah.
You go to my church? Where I know you from? And then I'm like, oh, you watch all that. Like it never clicks until then. And then I'm like, oh, okay, thank you for supporting.
Right, right.
So yeah, I don't really notice it until then, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Understandable. You're just so humble. That's what I'm noticing.
I don't know. I just be like, oh, okay, thanks for. I don't know.
No, that's dope. That's really dope. Now you're working with a lot of comedians, Insta famous comedians. It's just so many different comedians out there nowadays.
Yeah.
You're obviously funny. I'm up here laughing nonstop. Like I said, the people love you. Your fans love you. How do you not fall into the world of comparison? Like, and trying to compare yourself to this I'm comedian
Oh, yeah.
or whatever it may be.
It's happened. I think
Really?
earlier in my career, yeah. I remember there was so when I was trying to like before I started working at All Death, I was doing a few different things, and I used to do this show with this girl, and I thought she was good, but I thought I was better. Okay,
Yeah.
Not even trying to be on.
Nah, I feel like that's how you should be. Yeah,
but you know your skills and your talents, and you're honest. Like, okay, I'm good at this. I'm not good
Right.
at this. So I just felt like I was probably a better host than her. And then she ended up getting like a network show hosting something, and I was like, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? 4
Yes.
years of hustling like that. There's a lot of times that I like broke down crying, and I'm like, when is it gonna be my turn, God? I know it's coming, but like,
when? Yeah.
when can I stop working at the restaurant at the, where I was like making protein shakes at the gym? Like, when is it gonna be my turn, God?
Yeah.
And I remember this one time, this guy, this actor, I had interviewed him on the red carpet. Couple days later, he came into the gym and I was making shakes. He was like, "You work here too?" I was like, "Yeah, I was like, I gotta make ends meet, man. I gotta hustle for my dream." And then like the week later, he came into the restaurant where I was a hostess, and he was like, "You everywhere!" And I was like, "Bruh, I gotta make this dream happen."
Right.
He was like, "I respect it." So like now when he sees me, he be like, "Yeah, you work hard." I was like, "I did." But yeah, just like thinking about having to do that hustle and then becoming, like seeing other people do well, it does happen where you will just be like, what about me, God?
So discouraged. Correct.
Discouraged. But then you have to remember, like, everything happens in due time, right? Like,
so true.
What's meant for you is going to happen for you. And when I look at like that girl, her path, she's great, she's successful at what she's doing, but it wasn't my path. My path fits me.
Yes.
And when I look and I see where she went, I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't have had that job, because it leads to this, and this, and that wasn't for me.
Right.
And so, and if I had done that, I actually wouldn't have been working it all day.
Correct.
Because I would have been.
Exactly.
So you have to just be like, okay, well, there's enough room. My gift will make room for me. There's enough room for all of us to do it. I don't care if there's 50 million people that are on-air personalities, head of production, like whatever. It still doesn't mean that takes away from me.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to remember that and be like, there's room for all of us. I can help you and do the same exact thing I want to do.
Exactly.
Because nobody has your unique perspective.
That's so true.
You know what I mean? So
that's a whole lesson. Look, no, yeah, you was really preaching with that. Like, as I was saying, so many people call me Jamaican because I had so many jobs. Just trying to, like you said, chase my dreams, stay in this industry, pay my bills. Yeah. But as we said earlier, the journey, it all makes sense. It brings it all together. Because, girl, I was working in a restaurant, too, as a host. Working at shoe stores, like, literally everything. But I wouldn't. I mean, I definitely want to go back. But I wouldn't change it for the world. So, I feel it. Right. Now, earlier we were, we got the sound again.
Right.
You ready?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, second question I have for you. We talking about your colleagues.
Okay.
Who is funnier? Kev on stage or Tony Baker?
Oh, gosh, I'm not allowed to say. Oh, gosh.
Think about your fans who are going to win a prize.
So it's hard because they're different funnies.
Okay,
they're
elaborate.
Two different funnies. And if you let Kev sell it, he's going to say, you're not even going to say me, Maggie. You're going to say Tony because you say you don't laugh at me. Like, we have this joke that, like, I would always be like, yo, like, Kev, you're so funny, but, like, I don't laugh at you. Like, you're not funny to me, but you're funny to everybody else, which is, like, a joke. So to this day, like, I was just, like, pushing his buttons. To this day, like, whenever he does something, I'll be like, oh, my gosh, that's so funny. And he'll be like, you don't think I'm funny, remember? I was like, bro, if you don't let that go. So I don't know how to answer this because they're both really funny, but they're funny in two different ways.
Okay.
Like, two different ways. So I don't know. Like, does
this sound like she passing or is this answering a question? Producers, y'all gotta let me know.
Cause it's like apples and oranges. Like,
if you had to choose
an apple or
orange, which one you choose?
Oh gosh, I like all fruit. So let me see. Let me just say Kev. I'm gonna say Kev.
Okay.
Kev he's funny to me, and like he's very churchy, which is how I am.
Yeah.
So like I get a lot of his things, but then it's so hard because Tony be talking like the animals. I don't know.
We're gonna say you gave it to Kev.
I'm gonna give it to. See, Kev, I did choose you. I did choose you once.
He's gonna be happy. And no hard feelings to either of you. You guys are still higher, so it's all good. Okay, cool. Now, earlier we were talking about staying sane and just balancing life. I'm no mother, but you are a mother of two, and now you're homeschooling.
Yes.
In this world of your career and home and wife and mother, friend, all these different titles that you have, how do you stay sane and just balance it all?
Drugs. No, I'm just playing. I need to stop saying that because my mom was
Right.
like, "You're doing drugs." No, I promise. I think I'm still learning to balance it because I have my son's 5, my daughter's 1.5, and so like I'm still learning to balance motherhood, 2 kids, husband, career, and I feel like I'll probably be balancing it for the rest of my life.
For sure.
Because there's just so much on my plate, and it's all important to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm trying to teach myself to like take time away and not feel guilty about it. Because like before, I remember when I first had my son, I felt like, oh my gosh, like nobody's going to take care of him like me. So I didn't like leaving him with babysitters. I didn't like leaving him. I didn't even like leaving him with my husband, like his father.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, you don't know how to change his diaper, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how to. Mind you, my husband has 2 older children, so he's been a parent
Yeah.
a lot longer than me, but I still was like, you don't know how to take care of no baby, which is stupid because clearly he did. But it's like, I had to let some things go and be like, okay, Megan, you're driving yourself crazy because you think you can do it all.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to learn to delegate and let go.
Right.
And so now that I've been a parent for 5 years, I've gotten a lot better at like delegating. Like, okay, well, let me take the time to find, a babysitter or a nanny that is like really good and checks off all the boxes and all that kind of stuff. And then also like with my husband, I know I go to Los Angeles every month for a few days for work.
Okay.
And so like he has the kids, and like the first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta make the food. I gotta like label it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I gotta do all this. You gotta do this. I have all this stuff written out. He didn't follow none of that.
Of course
and
not.
Guess what? When I came home, my child was still alive.
Right.
So I had to go like, okay, well, they might be eating a bunch of like nuggets and fries,
Yes,
hot dogs, stuff that I don't feed them, but at least like they're alive.
Yes,
right? They're alive and fine, and
loved and healthy.
I just have to say that like they're alive. They'll
For
be alive
sure.
when I get back. There's the bars, I guess, set pretty low, so I don't have any expectations. But other than that, I think it's just like reminding myself like I was a person first.
Correct.
Before all of this, before my career, before my family, like it was me. It was me and God. So like if I need to make sure that time that I spend with God and that time that I spend for myself, to my hair, my nails, all that stuff, like that I still do that.
Correct.
And not feel guilty about it, because people gonna take from you.
No, that's fine.
They're gonna take as much time. My children will take as much time from me as they can.
And not care.
Right, and not care. So I have to be a little selfish and be like, okay, now it's Daddy's turn to watch it. Now you gotta go to the babysitter because I do need this time to just like get a clear thought off. You know what I mean? And like finish an email. So just take time for myself.
I can only imagine. Ooh, Lord, I get nervous thinking about that every time.
I love it. I love the challenge of like just raising children and seeing who they're becoming.
Right.
But it is not easy. Oh, Jesus. Nobody told me.
It's a whole nother job. Okay. And you do have a podcast. Yes. Mommy Needs a Break.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. As a mom, what has been a highlight of this podcast for you? Is there something new that you've also learned as a mom, obviously, but with this podcast too, that you didn't know before?
I think that people aren't really honest about motherhood, because I feel like nobody had ever told me before I became a mom that it was okay, that you're not going to want to be around your kids all the time. And you're still a good mom.
Yeah.
Like I felt really guilty. Like some days I'd be like, I just want to hide. And I want to like, hope you don't find me. Like when I just had my son, I was like, yo, like, cause your children follow you everywhere. They want to be around you. They think they are attached to you. So, but me being like an older mom, I didn't become a mom until I was like 33. So like I had my whole life to myself, and then all of a sudden overnight, I'm now responsible for somebody. And I took that, I still take that very serious, but like, I was like, yo, like I don't like to sit cuddled. I need my room to like move in the bed. I need like somebody always touching me. Like I don't like that, bro. Like but like I had to like just learn about that, and I feel like nobody was honest. And so on our podcast, my co-host Marisa and I, like we had kids around the same time, and we learned that we call each other and be like, yo, so like like we had all these questions and we just like the blind leading the blind,
Yeah.
we asking each other, we don't know. And then I realized, I was like, yo, we should just put this on a podcast because we can't be the only ones that's just clueless about stuff.
Yeah.
And like nobody ever told us that,
Yeah.
you know. But once we had the podcast and we start being honest about our situations as moms, I feel like so many moms were like, yes, exactly.
Okay, so said you had your first kid at 33. So I just want to know, did you feel like pressure? Did you have pressure from outside people? Were you like kind of nervous? Because again, being in this industry, you deal with a lot. You're working a lot. The hours can be whenever. You're dealing with a lot of different people. So like, what was that process like? I'm just really curious.
No, I don't think I felt pressure from anybody, but I think I felt like the societal pressure. You know how like you get older and you're just like, my eggs is gonna turn to dust. I need to like have kids soon. I think I felt that, but like I didn't. I always knew like the time will come. I know I want to be a mother, and I do believe that God like grants you the things of your heart if you ask.
For sure.
And so I felt like I'm gonna be a mom one day. I don't know when and how and with whom.
Yeah.
And then then it all happened really fast because I met my husband, and then we were, I think 7 months later, I got pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I wasn't ready for this. And then we got engaged, and then like we didn't even get married until this past year. So we spent a lot of time like getting to know each other. So I feel like it just kind of happened, and it was the best timing ever. Because I couldn't have planned that.
Right.
I mean, the year before, I didn't even have a man.
Right.
So, like,
yeah.
So it was just kind of like, oh, this happened. And it was just everything just fell into place beautifully.
Yeah. And I hear so many parents say, like, you'll never be ready. Like,
oh, you're never ready.
It'll happen. You'll figure it out.
You learn as you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And every day I'm still learning with my 5-year-olds. Me and him learn together. Sometimes I put myself in timeout because I'm like, yeah.
And what was your decision to homeschool? Like, what made you choose to do that?
I actually didn't want to. What happened, because I always thought homeschool kids were weird, right? I grew up next to some of them.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, dang, them kids don't go nowhere. They don't play. Like,
right.
When I go play with them, they all be like, we want to play with you. But they're like, they were like all age groups. And I'd be like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But I realized they didn't have anybody else. And I always thought, like, man, homeschool seems cool. But at the same time, like, if I ever did it, I got to make sure my kids like socialize.
Right.
And so I never really wanted to do it. Plus, I'm really busy with work. But what happened is my son's birthday, he missed a birthday cutoff for Georgia by like a month.
Oh.
And so, but he's really smart. He could read. He could do everything. And I didn't want him to do pre-K or like transitional kindergarten. Like,
got you.
And he's tall. So I was like, yo, I don't want him to get labeled as like, you know, a kid that has an issue because he's bored.
Right.
He's gonna be in class talking and he's bigger than everybody. Like, I don't want that to be his situation. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and homeschool him.
Got you.
For kindergarten year. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing it. So I think we're just gonna like go year by year. But it ain't easy, okay?
I bet.
Like I said, I put myself in timeout.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you keep on working.
Yeah.
Go sit in the closet. It's not easy, but like I actually love it a lot more than I thought I would because it gives us so much freedom, and then I feel like I can teach him in ways that's tailored to him because he's a student, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But we joined a homeschool collective, so like he goes to class with kids a couple times a week.
Okay.
So he's in a class. They're all homeschooled. They do like recess together, so it actually works out really beautifully because he's still around a lot of kids, but like. He gets tailored lesson plans.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to teach him about money because like you need to know how much a quarter is.
Yeah.
Stop asking me for this money. So I like when I go on my Target runs, I give him $20 and I'm like, okay, you can spend it.
Oh,
but he has to understand like what can I buy with this $20?
Correct.
And he's like, he said the other day, he was like, I can't get anything with this. I said,
right.
Inflation,
right?
Friend, inflation. You're learning quickly.
Times have changed for sure. I love that though. That's super cool. I know my mom. She wanted to do that for me and my sis as well, but she's a teacher, so clearly wasn't going to work. And my dad's an attorney, so clearly wasn't going to work. But I had cousins who were homeschooled, and it's funny because I'm not gonna lie, cousins don't feel no type of way. I thought they were weird too growing up. Like I was like, that's so boring, but. You know, nowadays things are different. Yeah,
you gotta. My son's in sports and stuff like city sports, so he's he gets a good balance. So like, he's not that weird.
Yeah, I love it. Now, outside of staying sane, mental health is so important, especially for our community. And I am proud of our community for speaking more about it. People are seeking therapists out. You have Imani State of Mind, a Black mental health podcast with reality star and psychiatrist Dr. Imani Walker. How important was it for you to be a part of this? And how important is it for our community to go to therapy? Just go, like, deal with it.
I love it. Actually, because I'm always intrigued by why people do what they do. I always felt like if somebody did something wrong to me, I would always go like, why? Why did you feel like that was okay?
That, yeah.
Why would you do that to me? Like, what kind of trauma are you dealing with that you think it's okay? You know what I mean? So when I was approached to be the co-host for Imani State of Mind, I was like really excited about it because it's like, we get to talk like all things mental health. And I started my own personal mental health journey probably like 2020.
Okay.
Right a little bit before the pandemic hit.
Right on time.
Right on time. And I started going to therapy, and like it's been life-changing to me. You know, because I feel like we all have our own issues.
For sure.
From childhood, from wherever. And it's just a good idea to talk to somebody to get a different perspective about it. And I always tell people, like, they'd be like, I don't want to tell somebody my problems, or,
right,
you know, they don't know me, they don't know what I'm dealing with. But it's like, you'd be surprised.
Right.
They know 50 of you that have the same problem.
Right.
So, like, you should go to a therapist. And if you don't like the therapist, like, it's like dating. You got to keep going to different therapists. I've gone through 4.
Yeah.
And now I found the one that I love. Like,
that's good.
We go together. She ain't leaving me, okay? That's my therapist. But, like, I literally if I had stopped after the first or second, I wouldn't be in therapy.
Correct.
But because I kept going until I found one I liked, then it just like turned out beautifully. So I always tell people, keep going until you find one you really like.
How did you go about finding your therapist? Is there like any websites or any that you would recommend?
Yeah, Black Girl Therapy.
Yeah, I've seen
That's one. There's like a couple different apps that you can do, like, so that you don't have to like physically go in. You can just like either talk to them on a phone, or, you know, it'll like ask you what you're looking for. You can pick like different criteria for your therapist. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get help. And you can also listen to Imani State of Mind. It comes out every week.
I know that's right.
Fridays. It's really cool because I feel like mental health is such a heavy topic, but like, I'm about to make fun of something. So there's a lot of laughs. Yeah. There's a lot of laughs. Okay. I don't know. The topics be serious, but we be on there cracking up. So yeah, it's cool.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about what's next. I knew it was coming. Ooh. Okay, so you know what that sound is.
Oh gosh, this is hard. Don't ask me about people I know, okay?
Well, this last question. I know you've seen everything online. You've heard the diss tracks. Lord, I don't know how and when we got here, but we are here. So, and nobody, do not just let her answer. Keep all your comments to yourself. We don't need none of that. No negative energy. But we got to ask, are you team Meg or Nikki? And why?
Oh, you already know. Team Meg, because my name's Meg.
Okay? it is indeed.
Honestly, I've never been a Barb, so I'm nothing to take away from Nicki Minaj, because I think she's really good at what she does, but I just, you know, it really wasn't my cup of tea, my type of rap, you know. And I really like Megan Thee Stallion. I feel like she's very authentic. And she, you know, I think I identify with her more, even though we have the same name. That's not the only reason why we're alike. But I feel like I identify with her. So, and, you know, I like her diss track better. Just, you know.
Said what she said,
She
period.
said what she said. I like it.
Okay. Well, I have to give it up for you because you answered all 3 level up questions. Woo! So, yes, shout out to you. One of your fans.
Somebody getting a gift card to Dollar Tree.
Not Dollar Tree.
Well, yeah. What y'all giving these people?
Y'all gonna get something, so shout out to you. Okay, so let's talk about what's next before I let you get out of here. A lot of your fans loved Great Taste. And I've seen a lot of people ask, is it ever gonna come back? So in 2024, is that a possibility?
I mean, I don't know. Everything's always a possibility, right? I mean, if the money is there,
I know that's right.
A possibility. So I don't know. It just depends. There's a lot of different factors for any show. So It just depends.
Okay.
We'll see.
Understandable. Now, obviously, as we've stated here, you do a lot. You are that girl. But what else is next for you?
Oh gosh, that is a good question. I think right now I'm living in my soft girl era.
I love that for you.
Because I've been working. Yeah, I've been working since I was 14. So
Yeah.
I think this last year I've probably just kind of slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, because I've always worked at a pace that's
Correct.
like this.
Yeah.
But then when I had a family, I had to take some time just to kind of like, okay, Megan, now you have 2 kids, you have a husband, you have a career. Like, what are the things that are important to you? How are you going to balance this? So, I'm in my soft girl era right now. But what's coming up next? We took a hiatus from Mommy Needs a Break. We took a break from Mommy Needs a Break
Okay.
for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I had just had a new baby, and then my co-host Marisa had she had a new job, so it was just a lot of stuff going on. So we're like, we're gonna go on a break. We don't know when we're coming back, but we just came back.
Okay, yay.
So this new season of Mommy Needs a Break is gonna be like pretty amazing. I will say that because we don't give a flying F anymore, right? Like before we were like makeup, we had our set was gorgeous like this. It was like everything was well put together. We would shoot like 5 episodes of a podcast back to back to back.
Oh Lord.
Like everything, and then we just got burnt out.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so we about to just come on here looking like this, and which again, authenticity,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But that's where we are in this next era for Mommy Needs a Break. So there's gonna be a lot of good stuff coming out with that. Also, you may see me in a city near you because there's some touring stuff that may happen with All Deaf.
Right.
And then also, like, I've got some personal projects that I'm working on. I can't talk about them. But they'll be out soon. And then also, you can see and hear me on Imani's State of Mind every week as well.
I love it. So, okay, one last question. Is there anything, and it could be in career, it could be in your personal life, anything, honestly, but that you want to accomplish before 2024 is over?
I gotta get this baby weight off me. You know what I'm saying? I done had these kids and eating these snacks. So
okay,
it's time to take this baby. Yeah, it's coming off. It has already started. So I think that just to get back to a place where I am like, this is my new body. Yeah, but like I'm happy with myself because I think that's another thing when women become moms, they're waiting to go back to what they were, but the truth is you will never be the same.
Correct. Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, and so you need to give yourself grace and be okay with that. And so I'm like, okay, let me get this baby weight off, but also I'm okay with never being back where I was.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I love that. Oh, you've dropped so many gems. You have just been so real, as I said, humble. It's been a fun conversation. So we say thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Super excited and happy to meet you. We got to stay connected for sure.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yes.
Do I get a gift card to Dollar Tree too? I'm just playing.
Look. No, but before we do let you go, seriously, drop our social media handles so we can keep up with you, follow you, support you.
You can find me at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream, everywhere on the internets. Also, MNAB podcast on Instagram and TikTok. That is for Mommy Needs a Break podcast for that show. And then Imani's State of Mind, at Imani's State of Mind everywhere to get information about that show as well. On at All Deaf, you know.
Yes. Y'all heard her. Do all that. Show her all the love.
Make Scoop. I mean, you know, converse with me, okay?
I love it. And of course, you can follow us at Skyy Level Media. You can follow me at Liz 2 times. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Run this video up. Show us some love. This Black media company. Yes. We're going to keep bringing you all of your favorite interviews. So make sure you send us a DM. You can drop it in the comments who you want to see next. And we hope to get them here in the Skyy Lounge. And until next time, we out.